CNN coverage of Election 96.
70 electoral votes are needed, and so far in CNN's election night coverage, President has 32, Bob Dole, nothing.
CNN coverage of Election 96.
So we're off and running. We have electoral votes up on the board, and here we go.
That's right. We're going to see what's going on in some of these states that are closing in this hour.
Looking at Florida now, with 25 electoral votes, CNN declares that President Clinton has won this very important state.
Major victory. This state hasn't voted Democratic since 1976. A lot of senior citizens in Florida, and the Medicare issue might have been big.
The polls have also just closed in the state of New Hampshire. Bill Clinton won it by just a hair in 1992. And Ken Bodie?
Judy, he started his last day of his last campaign in New Hampshire. It was very emotional for Bill Clinton, and he pretty much knew he would win this one.
Looking at Vermont, a declared winner for those 3 electoral votes, Bill Clinton.
Vermont hadn't voted Democratic since 1964 until 92. It went for Clinton then. It's going for Clinton now. It's a Republican state, but a liberal Republican state.
This hour, let's take a look at that all-important electoral map and what we have. It's not a lot, but we have something. It's Bill Clinton has nailed down 32 electoral votes. At this hour, Bob Dole, nothing. But it closed in 3 more states at 7:30 in the East. At this point, Bill Clinton has 58 electoral votes. Bob Dole, nothing yet. Ohio, CNN calls that the state of Ohio has been won by President Clinton. This is a big victory, Ken Bodie, for the Democrats.
That is true. No Republican has ever been elected without carrying Ohio, and it's also further bad news because for the last 30 years, this state has voted for the winning candidate.
CNN declares that Bill Clinton has won West Virginia's 5 electoral votes.
Not a big surprise. West Virginia is reliably Democratic. Every congressman, senator, the governor, and both houses of the state legislature controlled by the Democrats.
Show you what we have so far. President Clinton leading Bob Dole, 58 electoral votes. The magic number is 270. Remember this number, 240 electoral votes needed in this election tonight. And CNN is declaring that in Texas, the winner of Texas's 32 electoral votes is Bob Dole.
Bob Dole was counting on Texas, a state that hasn't gone Democratic since 1976, and where Republicans have made big inroads. If he didn't carry Texas, he wouldn't have had a prayer.
Pennsylvania, another big electoral vote state. Bill Clinton, the winner.
This state has voted Republican at state levels, Democrat for president recently, and it's not been wrong in 30 years.
In the land of Lincoln, 22 electoral votes. President Clinton winning the state.
Talk about a bellwether state. This is one, too. All winning candidates this century have carried Illinois, with only 2 exceptions. Woodrow Wilson in 16 and Carter in 76 did not carry Illinois.
Another Midwestern industrial state in Bill Clinton's corner, Michigan, and its 18 electoral votes.
One of the most memorable moments of this campaign was when Bob Dole went back to that Battle Creek Veterans Hospital where he spent 2 years recovering from his war wounds. Michigan, however, did not vote with Dole.
In New Jersey, CNN declares President Clinton taking over this state as he did in 1992.
Bob Dole used Governor Whitman's come-from-behind victory as a model for his campaign, and the fact that she promised and delivered a very big tax cut, but it didn't work.
The state of Massachusetts for Bill Clinton, all 12 electoral votes. Missouri, the show-me state for the president, for Bill Clinton. Tennessee, the volunteer state, 11 electoral votes in Bill Clinton's corner. Maryland, a state that has gone Democratic, now has gone Democratic once again. And Connecticut, 8 electoral votes for Bill Clinton.
Bob Dole has something to cheer about in Oklahoma. He is winning that state tonight, along with its 8 electoral votes. And in Kansas, guess what? The home state of this former senator goes to Bob Dole. In Maine, President Clinton takes off 4 electoral votes there, as he does in Delaware, 3 electoral votes there, and no surprise, in the District of Columbia, the president winning handily 3 electoral votes.
Alabama has just gone for Bob Dole. CNN declares Bob Dole the winner in the state of Alabama. This is a place that President Clinton had campaigned in just a few days ago. Here is a look at this hour, just a moment after 8 o'clock in the East. Bill Clinton, 198 electoral votes. Those states that you see in blue, Bob Dole, 55. And the big one on that map, gentlemen, is Texas. And that's one that comes sweet to... CNN has made the call that Bob Dole won Indiana. You just saw that. It is 8:30 in the East, 5:30 on the Pacific time zone, and at this hour, Bill Clinton has won 204 electoral votes, 66 away from the magic number 206.
You can't say. All right, now Arkansas, the president's home state. Add Arkansas to the growing number of states going the president's way this night, as Ken and Bill alluded to. His early and overwhelming success was expected, of course, but at least one prize must seem especially sweet: the Sunshine State, Florida. There's a winner in the Tar Heel State. Bob Dole has won North Carolina.
North Carolina voted for George Bush by the narrowest of margins last time, and the Republicans have retained it.
Main reasons, in fact, perhaps the main reason we're able to call Bill Clinton the winner at this hour is New York. It has the second biggest electoral prize, Ken Bodie.
33 electoral votes. It's not really the purpose of putting a vice presidential candidate on the ticket to help you win his home state, but Jack Kemp didn't help with New York.
Going to the Dairy State, which has a Republican governor, that didn't stop Bill Clinton from winning Wisconsin's electoral votes.
Wisconsin did go Democratic for Clinton in '92. It went for Dukakis and for Carter twice. It's voted Democratic a lot. It's a very strongly Catholic state.
Another state Bill Clinton felt pretty confident about, Minnesota. It's the only state to vote Democratic in 6 of the last 7 elections, Ken.
That's right, 10 electoral votes. The only Democrat to lose this state in modern times was the neighbor, George McGovern from South Dakota in '72.
Declares that President Clinton has won New Mexico's 5 electoral votes, and he has done ditto in Rhode Island. Also a winner tonight for the president. 4 electoral votes there.
The winner in the state of Wyoming. And let's take a look at the electoral map at this hour. 267 votes, electoral votes we can call in Bill Clinton's corner to 92 for Bob Dole. Bill Clinton has won Louisiana in 1996, and it's 9 electoral votes.
Matters most of all in this presidential race. President Clinton at this hour has 284 electoral votes. Challenging Bob Dole has 96 electoral votes. And we continue the count. Jefferson Clinton has a job for 4 more years.
He becomes the first Democrat since Franklin Roosevelt to win re-election to the White House.
He's won the presidency. We don't know what kind of mandate he has. That depends on what happens in Congress and whether he gets over 50%. But look at where he was 2 years ago and where he is now. 275, that's 5 votes over a majority. 2 years ago, Bill Clinton was toast. I mean, no one would have bet on his re-election. He was finished. He had lost both houses of Congress for the first time in 40 years. This is one of the great miraculous comebacks in American history.
Over the electoral top for re-election, 291 to 105, but don't let that deter you from voting in 5 western states. To declare states with the polls having just closed in the Hawkeye State, Iowa, President Clinton does as he did in '92. He wins.
In 1992, the Iowa vote exactly mirrored the national vote. 43% for Clinton, 37 Bush, and 19 for Perot.
Utah, this is a state that gave Bill Clinton his worst results in 1992, and once again it's done the same. Bob Dole the winner.
Worst results, I'm not sure yet, but it's not been a Democratic state since LBJ in 1964.
Oh, winning ditto in Idaho. 4 electoral votes, Bill.
Ditto in Idaho and Utah. Hasn't voted Democratic since 1964. Clinton only got 28% of the vote in 1992 in Idaho.
And the state of Kentucky, President Clinton, the winner. This state keeps up its record of voting with the winner. Ken, over the last, this will now be 8 elections it's voted with.
That's right. It's a genuine bellwether presidential state. Bob Dole said earlier this year, if Bob Dole wins Kentucky, I'll be president. He's not going to win Kentucky, and he's not going to be president.
To you that Bob Dole is the winner in the state of Virginia. 13 electoral votes. This is a state that George Bush won in '92, and it's a state that is, frankly, dependably Republican, but it was a toss-up for a long time this year.
California. CNN is declaring at this moment that President Clinton has won California's juicy 54 electoral votes, a state he worked very, very hard and repeatedly.
Went there almost 30 times. Bob Dole put everything he had into the last few weeks in California, spent $1.5 million a week. It didn't work.
And we can also say that Bill Clinton has won. This is a state that he won in 1992, Ken Bodie, and more good news with the Democrats.
It's a state that's become more and more Democratic in presidential voting as time goes on. And
Washington and in Oregon, CNN declares at 11 o'clock tonight, President Clinton has won the state of Oregon. 7 electoral votes in Oregon going to Mr. Clinton.
Strong environment.
Only twice since it became a state in 1959 for Bill Clinton.
not many electoral votes, Hawaii, but again, it's like all of these states on the Pacific Rim. They are becoming more and more Democratic in presidential voting.
Dakota, CNN declares that Bob Dole has won the state of North Dakota with 3 electoral votes.
North Dakota is not on the Pacific Rim. It's an interior state. Hasn't voted for a Democrat since 1964, and it didn't do it this time. Voted for Bush in 92 and Clinton in 96. Well, and Dole in 96.
Okay. Frankly, if you're keeping track and wondering about 6 states, we indeed have not called 6 states.
Bob Dole, and that is South Dakota. This is a state that George Bush won, the Republicans won in 1992, so it's not a big surprise, but it's been dangling out there, and we just are able to call it just now.
Now, let's...
You can see that's something he's been talking about on the trail. Now let's look at the electoral map, Bernie.
Bill Clinton has 375 electoral votes, Bob Dole 135. CNN shows that the president has won 30 states plus the District of Columbia, and Senator Dole, Jack Kemp having won 16 states so far. We still have not called the states of Colorado, Georgia, Nevada, and Montana.
This is already an improvement by 5 electoral votes over